Run, party, repeat. Welcome to the East Coast Adventures Dirt Vert Podcast, where we talk all things running, racing, and training to help you get ready for your next big adventures.
Learn from our successes and our failures, and have fun at the same time. Join us right here every week with inspiring guests who share their captivating tales from the trails. And remember, nobody cares.
Run faster.
All right. Welcome back to the Dirt Vert Podcast. I'm David.
And I'm Matt.
And we have a guest with us. If you're watching right now, you already know who our guest is because she's pretty popular. But we have Rachel Entrekin on the podcast with us. And I got to say, if you all have never looked at her ultra sign up results, you should just do that. You should just pause the podcast and scroll right now. It's insane.
Just carve out 10 minutes through my hundreds of attempts at greatness.
The most impressive part is you've got a lot of races. It says 107, but what's so impressive is how many of them that you have won.
Look at the trophies.
I mean, it's quite impressive to see. Yeah, I mean, that's the way to sum it up.
Yep.
She's got 107 races with 104 trophies.
Yep.
Pretty good, I think.
That's pretty good.
That's like a dream come true. I mean,
okay, I didn't know that you could do that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you should. It's funny because, when we're speaking about trophies, obviously I have a lot of trophies. And they are currently and my friends give me so much crap about it because they're like, you should be proud of this. And I'm just like, I am proud of it, but I don't need a trophy to be proud of it. And so they're all in a duffel bag, under my bed or in a box in my storage unit.
Wow.
The only ones I have out right now are the ones that I've done since January.
I know another person that just takes their medals and awards and throws them in the trunk of her car. So
that used to be.
Well, I've still got all of mine. They're laying in my middle console. I'm sure you saw them over the weekend. They're laying everywhere.
Yeah, I have to about every 6 months because obviously I race prolifically. So I have to every 6 months go through my car because I do the same thing. I'll just toss them in the back seat
in there.
And be all right, we ride at dawn. And every 6 months have to clean out my car and get. Because when you podium, you get extra stuff, right?
Yeah. And you always get some big award that,
Yeah, and at Chianti, I got a vase. What am I gonna do? I have to fly home with a vase. How am I gonna do that? And I got a crystal wine goblet.
I saw you. Is that the picture of you drinking from that?
Yes,
I think yes.
Yeah. But it's okay, how am I supposed to pack this? I'm going to Portugal. And I'm going to be there for I don't know. You get all sorts of goofy. So you get extra stuff. And so I just have however many races I've done, you can just multiply that by a factor of 3. And that's how many things
Trinkets.
I have. And it's just
Trinkets everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah. Well, with 104 trophies, I can only imagine what that looks like.
And the ones not on ultrasound.
Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot. I could probably start a pawn shop.
Probably sell them, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Or just buy an additional house and just put all your trophies in there.
You think I have enough money? That's so funny. That's so funny.
You could charge for them to come to the house.
There you go. You can
a museum
to touch it.
Yeah,
that's true.
There we go.
I'll have to let my roommate know. Hey, buddy, strangers are gonna come look at my closet. No, it's okay. They paid me.
They paid. That's what counts.
Yikes! Yeah, that's a great idea, boys. I'll take that one.
There we go.
Well, Rachel, if you don't care, we got to learn all about you now. Tell us a little bit about who you are and how you got into running.
Yeah, so we kind of chatted offline a little bit about who I am, but I was born and raised in the American Southeast.
Ooh.
Grew up in Birmingham, Alabama. Moved around a little bit through Texas, North and South Carolina, and then finally kind of found myself back in Alabama. Went to school at the University of Alabama in Birmingham. I got my doctorate in physical therapy there, so I'm a physical therapist by technicality, I guess. And got into running probably when I went off to college, I would say. was kind of when I really started, because, I was in a new city and I didn't know where anything was. And a really good way for me to learn where things is to just go there on foot. And so I wasn't good enough at sports. I played sports in high school, but I wasn't really good enough at them to actually do them in college. And so, but I enjoyed, getting outside and staying fit and feeling accomplished. So I just picked up running because it was easy because, quote unquote, all you need is a pair of shoes. Just kidding. You need all sorts of stuff. But at the time, I didn't know that. And so all I needed was a pair of shoes. And so I did my first marathon in 2010. I did my first marathon. And then I got really into road marathons for probably about 3 years. And when I say really into road marathons, I was doing like 2 a month minimum. So on top of running regularly, like I would run, I would say most days. And then kind of throughout that process of running so many marathons, you obviously meet quite a lot of people. And most of those people were like, why aren't you doing trails? Because trails are better. No offense to everybody. But, and so, yeah, I dove into the trail scene around probably 2012, like late 2012. Did a couple marathons, like trail marathons. Did my first ultra in 2013 in South Carolina at Harbison 50K, which you guys may know. I think that was my first one.
Yep.
And yeah, it's kind of been like, I love running ever since. And so, but I do like the idea, any surface, any distance at any time, I think is kind of a fun way of looking at it. And so I live in Colorado now. But I do train on roads still. Obviously the mountains and the trails are what I'm the most passionate about, but, I'll do fixed time races too. Like I'm sad I haven't done one this year. I usually do across the years in Arizona every year. And I missed it because I wanted to do, Cold Water Rumble instead. But yeah, I usually do fixed time. I think they're really fun. They're very social events. And a lot of times the good or bad thing about trail running is it is a lot of solitude. Typically, especially if you tend to be towards like the front of the pack, not necessarily in the middle, where there's just not as many people. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. Running is cool. So I got into it by necessity and then stayed in it because it's the best, I guess. But yeah, and so now I signed my first several. I had a pretty big, year last year that people finally noticed.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, and so I was able to sign my first professional contracts in June through November is when they all kind of came together. And I had kind of cobbled together enough money with those contracts to feel comfortable leaving my professional job as a physical therapist for the first time since graduating in 2016. So I'm doing this full time. It's pretty sick.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
That was awesome.
Best life ever. Yeah. So.
Well, you earned it.
Yeah.
You earned it. You worked hard for it.
I don't know. Yeah, it was a lot of time. It's been a long time coming, I think maybe, but it is funny because, I just did Whiskey Basin. And I don't know, I did it with my friend who has not raced very much. Like he's done a handful of races, but like he's been running for probably 5 years now, but just doesn't do a lot of racing. And so I don't know, like his nerves and like the things that he had questions about. And like afterwards we kind of briefed and it was like, we talked about his training and like maybe some of the mistakes he made during the race itself. And I was just like, yeah, I know all the, like, it is funny because I do feel like I've had so much experience that like, I actually kind of do feel like a professional, which is funny in a way. But yeah, I don't know. It's cool. It's a cool feeling to kind of be, I'm very lucky to be where I am because I don't know how long it's going to last. This sport is pretty fickle and people get injured all the time, but, I hope it's not going to be me. But I'm realistic. I have a profession that I love that I'm excited to go back to. Am I going to go back to 40 hours a week? No, but I am excited to go back to it at some point. And yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be I'm interested to see what happens over the next like 5 years with this whole thing, because it's been a wild ride. Like, I'm 34 years old and I'm a professional athlete. Like, that's insane to me, kind of.
Yeah, but you've put so much time into it, and I mean, your results speak for themselves.
Yeah.
For for itself. So it's kind of cool to see, your trajectory as far as like races and stuff. You started out podium in the ultra world, and
That's true.
and it took you. I mean, that's what's crazy.
2013.
We're talking 2013 to 2025. For someone to notice you, to give you a contract, that's sad. Like, that's sad. That's
I don't know, but nobody deserves anything. Nothing has to happen to anybody.
That's true. Yeah. But it's kind of sad though that you have athletes that are winning as many races as some do, and they don't really get a lot of attention. Yeah. And it's sad to see in the sport sometimes, and it's starting to get better. I think social media is helping, helping some of that. But then you still have these guys and girls that don't even post their races, and they're just absolute badasses. And they're like, there's a couple of people that run around here that don't even have an Instagram account, but they come and run a race and they'll win it, and they just walk off and they don't care about that stuff.
Yeah, it's like the Mike Versteegs of the world.
Yeah, and it's like, I think that's so cool, but at the same time, I'm like, I really wish they would get some attention. But you're a great example of that. I mean, my goodness, like when I look through your results, it's insane.
It is.
I mean, it truly is. Like you are very gifted.
Wild. Yeah.
So I think that's really cool.
I don't know, but I like to think that this happened at the right time. Because I was also in a place where, like, financially, I'm a millennial, so finances are terrible, and I don't know. It just I found myself in a place where I was actually able to, like, have a savings and, like, okay, well, I can, because honestly, it takes so much time to pursue contracts. It is a full-time job to pursue contracts. Like, it's nuts. And I've been really invested in my career because, I went to college for this thing. I wound up being, I really love oncology physical therapy. So, like, cancer rehabilitation is like I love it. I just think that population is really rewarding to work with. And so I was really invested in that for like 4 years prior to doing this. And so, like, if somebody had come to me with a professional contract 3.5 years ago, when I'm just getting started on this other passion that I don't even know if I would have been in a position to say yes. Whereas, this past year I was in I finally started doing travel physical therapy. I started that in January of 2025 because it's 2026 now. And so my contract ended in June, and I remember just being like, okay, like, I think I have some momentum going, and, like, I'm in a position where, like, I can pick up another contract if I want to, but I could also see where this whole professional running thing takes me. And then lo and behold, like, it all came together, and, it's not that I haven't been trying to get a contract, but, like, I haven't been actively pursuing it because I just didn't have the headspace. I didn't have the time, and I was working, and I was in Los Angeles and, like, all these things. And so it's like, well, now I'm in Colorado, and, like, I'm in a position where I want to make this a priority. And so now it finally became reality, which is really cool.
Well, it is really cool. And I hope that you get to enjoy that for a while in your career. And, it's kind of cool too, that you'll get to just focus on training.
Yeah.
The best. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. I joke that all my runs with friends are business meetings. So
that's true.
Yeah, that works.
That's true. Well, it's really cool. I mean, me and Matt are super excited for you because when we saw all that last year, it was like, that's really cool.
It's like back to back to back. It was good.
Yeah, it was dope. I had a good run for sure.
Yeah. It's gonna be hard to top 2025.
It will be pretty hard to top. That's gonna be. I mean, it was a great year. Admittedly, I had a great 2024 too.
Yeah, you did. Well, I mean, come on. Yeah. You've had like a great 5-year run here at podiums.
Yeah. Well, 2022 was a rough year, actually. 2022, I had a lot of problems. So, yeah. But since then, I learned from them and have progressed as a human and an athlete. So yeah, but 2025 is going to be tough. Yeah, I think most of the races that I participated in, I did really intentionally, and then I got really fun results, and it was just like, all right, sick. And like, I mean, Cocodona, that finish last year was, I mean, it's going to continue to be like the best day of my life. Because, you know, my family has not always been on board with extreme sports, you know, especially when your daughter is, you know, doing them.
Yeah.
It's like your daughter's going into the woods with strangers. Like that's, you know, I get it. And so my parents were there and they were really happy and they got to see me kind of do my thing. And I had a really fun crew last year. And like, I don't know, my attitude was just so much better than it had been in 2024 when I finished. And that was my only goal, was just finish with a better attitude. And so it was the best. There were so many people out there and everybody was stoked and they all had dogs that I could pet. And it was just like, I don't know, it was great. Yeah, it'll be a tough year to top. I don't know. I'm optimistic. Monty was a pretty cool finish too.
Yeah, I was gonna say you started the year out pretty good too, so I can't.
Yeah.
You know, 2026 is starting out great.
Yeah.
I can't complain about anything, to be honest with you. So
No, you're having a really good run right now, so just enjoy that and try not to stress too much about contracts and everything else.
Yeah, I will not. Don't worry.
Well, I gotta ask you a couple of questions here because you got some races in the South, obviously, that we know because we live very close to some of these.
Yeah.
You know, and some of them we've raced, but Rockin' Chocolaco is a cool race, the Pinhoti Trail Race Series. But you also have a Jason Green race on here, Yeti Snakebite. And then Georgia Jewel, which Matt and I have both ran.
Yep.
We live we live like an hour away from Georgia Jewel.
Oh, really? Do they still give you the gemstone at the end?
No, it's a. What year did you?
No, she did the 50.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't know what they give for the 50.
it's a different, slightly different course now too. Since
she
ran it.
It's a different race director. Is it?
Yeah, different race directors. The Bakers now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my. Was that my first 50?
It looks like it.
No.
Yeah. You've got some 50Ks, but that's your first 50 mile or Georgia Jewel.
Yeah, that was cool because they just gave you like it was a purple, like, it looked like a diamond. Like it was kind of funny.
Well, that's cool. I don't think they do that anymore.
I need to do 50 milers more often. And then I found out they give you belt buckles for hundreds, and I was like, cool. I don't even wear belt buckles, but
well, you even did locomotion.
Oh, yeah.
I did. I don't know if that race is still around. Is it still around?
Yeah, I'll be there this weekend.
Yeah, we know the race director very well.
Yeah, no, that race is funny because as you see, I didn't get a very high mileage because I was driving the night before. My friend actually lives in Knoxville, and I think it's like somewhere in Tennessee. So I was on the way to Knoxville to visit my friend, and I was like, oh, hey, I'm going to do, I think it was like a 6 hour that I signed up for. Like, yeah, I'm going to do the 6 hour, and like, I'm just going to do the 6 hour. And then I'll head up afterwards. But my car got a flat tire on the way down, and it was late. It was late at night. And so I was up until like 3 a.m., like dealing with this freaking flat tire. And so I don't know, dealing with and then subsequently driving to the start of the race, where I slept in my car, missed my alarm, and started like 2.5 hours late. And so
no.
I think I barely got a marathon, I think. And then the race was over, and I was like, well, that was a bust. but yeah, that's a funny story.
Well, you've so real quick before I ask you a question about that, what was your fastest marathon time?
I mean, I have no idea, to be honest with you. I've never really recalled racing one as hard as I possibly can. My PR is from a race in California, called, I don't remember what it's called, but I think it was like a 3:11 or a 3:17. And I do remember.
That's pretty good.
It was, I mean, I'm not.
That's
Boston
great.
Qualifier. Well, I guess that is a Boston qualifier.
Yeah,
but
it is.
But yeah, I don't really. I remember like halfway through the race being like, I'm doing pretty good. Like maybe I should try to run a little faster and see like. So I only really realized that I was I should try to go faster halfway through that race. And when I finished, I was dead. It was hard. I negative split the shit out of
That's awesome.
So yeah, I've never raced one. I've never gone into a marathon with the intention of seeing how fast I can do it. So I don't really know the answer to that.
Well, that's pretty impressive though that you did it low 30s.
That's a good
feel
time.
the need. Yeah, I don't feel the need to improve that number very much.
No, it's not worth.
Exactly.
It's not worth coming off the trails to worry about.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I did do over the winter this past year. I did my first ever speed workout.
Oh, yeah.
That was a certain type of fun. But it was pretty, like, I didn't know that I could run that fast. And so it was kind of like, huh. And I wasn't, Addie Bracey, who's a pro runner for ACG, we're like training partners. I love that woman. And like Devin Yanko lives in the Valley. Like we have a ton of people that are pro runners where I live. And so it's been really fun to like get to, cause I don't even want to say that I'm self-coached because I'm not coaching myself into anything. I just run. And but it's been really fun. It's been really fun to kind of glean, like, they're just such professionals, and I'm just kind of this like idiot who like happened into like being good at something and then like getting paid to do it. So now de facto I'm a professional, but they're just really like dialed on their stuff. And so they do things like speed workouts and they fuel the right way. And I've learned so much from living here and training with them. And it's been really fun to like try to implement those strategies. And, when I was doing Cold Water Rumble, I was doing a lot of speed work. And so it's like, well, let's see if it helps. And then I guess it must have, because that was a pretty fast race. So, yeah, it's been fun to, I don't know, experiment with speed, but, obviously I don't need to do that for a 250-mile race. So I've not been keeping up with it, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, you definitely don't need it for a 250-mile race.
Blast the first 50 and hang on for the rest.
Exactly. That's the Harry C. Burtis method. That's what he did last year. He just blasted. He did the first 50 in like 7 hours or something, and then
wow.
He got fifth. I mean, that's I think it was fifth or fourth. Like he obviously did
pretty
really
dang
well.
good.
That's still good.
His graph was like, yikes, crash. But yeah, I mean, he held on. That's like mad respect. I spoke with him at the finish line, and I was just like, dude, I don't even know what. And he was like, I don't know what happened either. I just wanted to like see what I could do. Like, well, you showed us.
Well, it's. I was scrolling through here trying to find out. So, like, you really did your first ultra, I guess, like around 2013. But you didn't do a 24-hour race or a 100-miler till 2017.
Was it 2017? I've been telling everybody the wrong year. I thought it was 2016.
Operation Endurance Run, 24 hours. And you ran 102 miles. You won the race overall. How was that experience doing? Like, because that's almost double anything you had ran at this point. Do you remember how that race went? Like, was there a alert?
Oh, I remember. So I had done a race. So back in probably 2015 or something, I had done a race and I actually injured my knee. I tore my meniscus, and it was during a 50 mile. And so I was a little bit leery of like anything past or up to 50 miles for a couple of years. Like I was a little gun shy. And so that's the reason I started doing like, I would do 6-hour races. I would do 50Ks and like, I would just kind of stick with that. Cause I don't know. It felt, I just wasn't ready yet. And so, eventually though, I discovered a race called the Delano 12-hour, which is in Decatur, Alabama, which I love that race. Highly recommend if you're looking for that kind of thing. And I did that race probably 3 years in a row. And I remember like year one, I did the 12-hour. I got like 42 miles, which like functionally is the same as a 50-miler, but it wasn't. And so, next year I come back, I do 48 miles or whatever, which again, like it's all the same. And so I guess it must have been like 2016 or 2017, I came back and I did 73 miles, I think, in the 12-hour, 72 or something like that.
73.
And,
73.
Okay. And yeah, I just remember being like, okay, like I'm fine. And so I think it was after that I signed up for a 24. So yeah, it wasn't quite double, but it was, oh my God, that race was so hard. Like it was hot. Oh my God. There was like a heat wave that came through because it's in, I don't remember what time of year it is. I think it's in the early March. Yeah.
Yep.
But it was, oh my God, it's in what, like Phoenix City or Columbus or something, in Fort Benning. And it was so hot and I died because I didn't know anything. I was like, oh yeah, I'll just drink water. What are electrolytes? I had like Mountain Dew. I was like, what am I doing? And I remember, this is an embarrassing story, but we're all friends here. So, and I remember I actually was chafing. I was chafing really bad because again, I didn't know what I was doing, and I was wearing like Old Navy shorts.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
That works for 12 hours, and like, and I remember like my butt crack got super chafed, and this woman, bless her heart, there's a Southern expression for you. So she was like, "Oh, I have a chafe stick in my bag," and like she was about to leave. Yeah, you know where this is going. She was about to leave. And so she was like, "Oh yeah, just like whatever, use it. I don't care. Like you can just keep it because I'm not gonna. I'll just leave it." Because she was like about to finish her 100K or whatever she was doing. And so I go in, I grab it, I run to the bathroom, I apply, and it is like Vicks Vapor Rub type.
No.
And it was like, yeah, that was the worst. And I was at mile like 90. So I was so close. And I remember I like literally thought that I was going to throw up. It hurt so bad. And so I was pretty chipper. Like I was tired and like grumpy and stuff because it's my first 100 and I was dead. But I was pretty chipper when I went into the aid station every time with the race director who was there. And I came in the next lap after that and I was just weeping and like my face was red. I was like unwell. And she was like, "What is wrong?" And I just go, "Wet wipes." And like she hands me wet wipes and I like run to the bathroom and anyway, long story short, I finished. I did 100 miles. And then I can't remember exactly what she just like was trying to convince me to go further. And I was like, "No." And then I think I took a nap or something and then woke up and there was like 30 minutes left and I was like, "All right, I'll do 2 more miles." But man, dude, that was like to this day, that's probably like the worst physical pain I've ever experienced during a race is like applying freaking Icy Hot to your ass crack that is.
God, I don't even want to think about
I could not imagine that.
Bro, it was in a stick form. Like, why would you put that in the same area as your... Anyway, I can't blame the woman. I just didn't read. I didn't even know that. It was. Yeah. So
maybe her goal was just to make you run faster.
Or maybe it was the wrong one. Maybe she gave you the wrong stick.
It was sabotage. That's what.
She had a friend out there still running. She's like, hand her the Icy Hot.
Yeah, that was terrible. So that was that race. Yeah.
So we've all been there though. Like
Yep.
At some point, we've all had something.
I doubt it.
I mean, I won't mention any names. Well, I will. It's fine. Mike Taylor. His
Mike.
very first 100 miler was George, or actually it might be his. Yeah, his very first 100 miler was Georgia Jewel.
Yep.
I paced him for the last 50 miles. And this was like when we first started running. So it's like early, probably 2016, 2017, somewhere in there. And he gets about 70 miles, 80 miles in, and he takes his bandana off.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm watching him because he's in front of me. You know, I'm just kind of following him because he's walking at this point. And then I'm like, huh. And then he shoves it down his pants. And I was like, "What are you doing?"
What are you doing there?
He said, "Oh my gosh, I'm chafed so bad. I'm wrapping this headband around my balls."
That sucks. Fortunately, I don't have to deal with that.
So he went 20 miles with that headband down there, wrapping it around. And it was just, we've heard now that
prescription was born.
And we had Jason Green on here, and he was talking about a story. He was in a race, and he started chafing really bad. And he was at a race. I don't remember what race it was, but they told him that they would just they would give him a Ziploc bag and he could tape it around him. Or tape the Ziploc bag. And he just looked at him and he's like, "Are you what?" And he's like, "No, thanks. He's like, "I'll take my chances." And so he can't
try it. I would at least try it.
So here's what's funny.
Better.
Oh, yeah, here's what's funny. So he keeps running. And they're like 80, 90 miles into this race. And another guy, like he passes another guy hobbling through it. And Jason's like, "How you doing, brother?" You know how Jason is. He's like, "How you doing, brother?" And that guy's like, "Not good, man. I'm chafed so bad." And Jason just like kept running, turned around and said, "Well, just put your balls in a Ziploc bag. It'll fix them."
Yep.
And he kept running. So we had Jason on the podcast, and Jason had said that guy tried it.
He did it.
So that guy listens to this podcast, sends us a message. He is a race director now in Florida. And he said, "Dude, that was me, and it worked. It saved my race."
Yeah, Jason, why are you trying it? That's the thing, is Jason clearly was not desperate enough to try it. Like, it wasn't that bad, clearly. Because, like, yeah, when you're desperate, you try it. Like, for sure.
Yeah.
I just couldn't imagine putting a plastic
if
bag.
I happen to ever grow balls, I'll be sure if they try it. Did you think this is what we'd be talking about on this podcast?
Yeah, right,
I did
really,
not have
really.
anything that hard, for sure.
I mean, you know, we're talking about chafing. So it's all good.
God.
All right.
But you are right, though. Like, that is some of the worst pain that can absolutely just happen, because I saw Mike. He was miserable. We've saw runners at our events that, I mean, it'll be one of the things that will take you out.
Emmanuel's hilarious when he comes in.
Yeah. But so obviously the old Navy shorts were gone after this point, I'm assuming, right?
I don't even think I think I just threw them in the trash. I think it was shortly thereafter that I discovered compression shorts, and I was like, let's do these.
That's what I run in. All of them. Always compression now.
Yeah.
So,
although I've recently started wearing like the baggier shorts or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like Terragnota makes some incredible gear, actually.
Who does?
It's called Terragnota. They you should definitely look into them.
I saw that. I think I looked at some of their stuff.
Their gear it's quite reasonably priced, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, because Norda, I signed, my primary sponsor is Norda, and they have some gear, like they've started making, and like the tech shirt is the best. I love that tech shirt. But it's not like, they don't have a lot of gear. And so, you know, I don't want to do laundry every day. And so, like, obviously it's like a color palette thing. Like, as long as I'm within the color palette, and no like crazy logos or whatever, then I'm good. But yeah, so I discovered Terragnota because they're very like basic. Like the color scheme is very like neutral, and that's what Norda is. And so it's like, all right, cool. And the logo is actually on the back side of most things. So it's like, if you're getting a picture of me from the front, it totally works. And Alex King is great. He's a really fantastic person. He's the owner. And yeah, and so he sent me some stuff, and they have a short that has a belt built in, like a built-in little waist belt.
Yep.
And I hate waist belts, but I love that one. And like my phone stays in it, and like I could put a water bottle in there, and it's like awesome. And the shorts are super comfortable. So anyway, shout out to Terragnota.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you said that, because I was actually looking at ordering some of their shorts, because they are pretty reasonably priced. And
I know.
And I was like, I've never heard of this company though, and I just kind of like forgot about it till you said that.
Yeah.
I'll have to get some.
Yeah, he's coming out with a sun
awesome.
shirt too that a meme account just did a meme about me wearing it because I look like E.T. admittedly. But it's a great sun shirt. I love that sun shirt. It's fantastic. So yeah, they make really good gear. And again, I mean, this is such an expensive sport for like no real reason other than capitalism. And so so it's kind of nice. Like he's really kind of going against the grain with I mean, it's good. It's equivalent, in my opinion. I don't know anything, but it feels equivalent quality as like other things that cost double.
Yep.
So I personally am very appreciative to him, and I mean, I don't need to buy anything at this point in my career, which is really nice. But I still think that it's like, that is a company that is very much worth supporting, just because they are making it accessible for people who aren't in a position like financially that they can just afford like $150 shorts, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, it's already expensive enough to race.
yeah, it is.
Registration to get you.
So don't spend all your money on the race fees and wear like no clothes. But yeah, Terranona's cool. You should check them out.
Oh,
For
I
sure.
definitely
I'll have to
will.
look
Thank
it
you
up.
for that.
Yeah.
I've got to ask you now about your first. I was scrolling up. You just keep
Oh,
scrolling,
shit, look up
scrolling,
mountain.
You
scrolling.
just keep scrolling. You just keep
Yeah.
on scrolling.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to find your first 200 miler. Where?
I can tell you that one. It was, I guess technically it was across the years, probably in 2023 or 2024. It's the confusing thing about across the years is it's over New Year's Eve, so I don't quite know how to do the year.
Yeah, right there.
But I believe it
2023.
was 23 into 24.
Yep.
Yeah, this is
But that was
December
when it was kind of-
28.
188 miles.
Oh, but that wasn't 200 miles. So it
No,
must have been the
two
next
up.
year. The next year I did
Go up.
214.
Okay.
212, 706.
As well.
December
Yeah,
8th.
that was, and that actually wasn't. That was fine. I mean, it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. So that was kind of when I was like, okay, I need to sign up for Cocodona. And so then I did.
I love that you do. This is crazy. You did
Yeah, I know.
212 miles at across the years. And 5 days later did almost 50 miles
Did I? What did I do?
at Devil's Dome.
Oh, that was technically, I'm not that insane. I didn't actually do that. That was like a, yeah. That's a technicality. That's a, when you look at that event, it's, you do it over the course of the year. So that summer,
Oh, okay. Okay. I was about to
so
say.
that was just like, I had won the event. Because all the
Okay.
entries were in. No, I didn't just like run a 50 miler.
Yeah, I was
That's-
thinking, man,
That would be crazy.
that's impressive.
Got 200 a couple days later.
Yeah, no,
I'm
that would
like,
be
someone should have signed her right then.
Well, I did High Lonesome this past year, and it's beautiful and it's hard. But I did High Lonesome this year, and then it was like less than 2 weeks later. I do this basically a sky marathon in Aspen, Colorado, because Jeff Colt was like, "Come do it," and I was like, "I'm a sucker for peer pressure," and so I went, and it was so hard. Oh my god, I felt okay just like walking around. I'd been on a couple jogs or whatever. Like raced. Like I hadn't tried to run fast, and so I made it like 2 miles in, and I was like, "Holy crap! Like this is gonna be a hard day. It's gonna be a hard day." But that was probably the hardest race I did all year was that freaking marathon because I was just like dead, and it was probably like 13 days later. That was a fast turnaround, I think.
Yeah.
So what made you want to do? I see several on here, but across the years, 48 hours. Was that just something you wanted to see? You just wanted to see how far you could go?
Yeah, I'd done Jackpot 48 also. It's another Air Viper race in Vegas. I'd done that one too, and like I had done the 24 enough times where it's like, okay, I get it. I understand how this race flow goes. I wasn't setting any like records or anything, but like I would usually win the 24. If not overall, I would win for the females. And so it's like, all right, once I feel like I've done something well, then I don't like to stay there. I want to see what else. So yeah, 48 was the next logical option. Was like, well, I'll just run for longer. And so that was kind of the reason for the multi-day thing. And it was fascinating. Like making that jump was really, it was a learner's curve for sure. Cause I did I think I did 3 of them before I hit 200 miles. I did like 150 and then maybe like 175, 180, like twice or so. I don't quite remember. But it was definitely a learner's curve. And then I remember going to whatever the edition was where I finally got over 200 miles. And just for whatever reason, like I had met, I don't know if this is the year that I met Matt Shepard. I don't know if you know who he is. He's a Canadian guy. But I met him at Across the Years on one of the years. he told me, he just basically like, he's such a good multi-day runner. He's such a positive guy. And he just told me how to do it. And like, he told me about how to sleep. And like, he told me about how to think. And like, he told me how to pace myself. And I remember, I think it was the year prior, like, because I met him about halfway through. I think he was on his last day and I was on my first day. And so it was like, well, we didn't have much time. But in that time that I spent with him, it was just like, dog, like, you know what you're talking about. And so the next year, I implemented a lot of those things. Like I slept only when I was tired. I didn't make a sleep plan, which I had been trying to do. Like, okay, well, on night 2, I'll sleep for 3 hours, and I'll just lie there, and like I'm not tired,
Yep.
and that's frustrating. And so I just nixed it because I was like, well, Matt Shepard said to do this, so I'm going to do this. And then I thought, I did more fueling stuff. I did a little bit more research there, and like it worked, and it was great. He said something that was like, I'm paraphrasing, but it was like, don't worry about pace, run the mile you're in. And I was like, okay. And so, because I always worry that I'm starting out too quickly or like I feel good. So, and like he also is a big proponent of like, if you feel good, then like don't squanch how that feels just to like slow yourself down. And so he was like, if I feel good, then I'm going to run. And just don't think about it. Just run. And yeah, I think it was the next year. That was when I just like PR'd by 30 miles and got over 200. And it was like, all right, well, that worked. So thanks, Matt.
212.
Yep.
Yeah. So it was pretty,
Awesome.
that was cool. Yeah. I try to learn. Sometimes I don't, but I do try to learn.
And then you just had to go do Cocodona.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I mean, because, I'd done so many 48 hours and like, all right, well, I did 200 miles on this. So like, again, I don't like to, I'm not going to say that I figured out the 48-hour distance, but like, okay, I did what I wanted, and what is next? And like, what was next was a fixed distance that was a multi-day. That felt like the next. I didn't want to do 72 hours. I was like, no, that's ridiculous. I'm going to go to and probably do 72 hours there. But yeah, and it was really, I'm glad that I did it in that order. I feel like I was, nobody can really prepare you for what it's like to do your first point to point or first fixed distance multi-day. Like it's impossible. Like you just have to do it.
Yep.
But I do feel like I was as prepared as I could have been, by kind of, stacking my races over the years that I, like how I did, I guess.
Yeah, that was definitely good progression.
Yeah, and it's you're exactly right. There's not a really good way to train or to, like you can train for a multi-day, but until you're like in it, it's hard to understand what works for you.
Yep.
Because
it's very individual.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We got to experience that at Ball State.
Nice.
And cool. It was, it's one of those where, I had this plan and Matt had his plan, and the plan goes out the window because everybody has a different amount of sleep they need. Everybody some people do better in heat. Some people do better at night. Some people can't run at night. They fall asleep or they run out in the middle of the road. And, so it was a learning curve. And I can tell that it was a learning curve for you because obviously I know that you probably got better, like your fitness improved over the course of a year. But honestly, 2024 to 2025, you shaved 10 hours off your time.
10 hours, yeah. A lot of it was, and it was actually a longer course. Like I estimate that the 25 course was conservatively 4 hours longer.
Wow.
Than the 24 course. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it was fitness, maybe some. I mean, I moved to altitude, and so I'm certain that must have helped. I had a year of experience under me. And then I learned how to fuel a little bit better. I started working with precision.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not fuel enough, obviously. And in 2024, I had an instance where I actually took in too much sodium. And so I was really sick for like 8 hours. I was just vomiting, and I was going at like 2 miles an hour, which is not very fast. And And I bonked really bad because I was fueling with spring energy and apparently only getting half the calories I thought I was getting in. And so, so I just bonked at the halfway point, and it was just like, eh. So, I mean, I'm thrilled with how I did. I mean, obviously I can't complain because I won the race, but it definitely, I knew I left some time on the table. And so in 25, you know, I was working with professionals and I was getting advice, and I'd had that experience last year that I knew what I could do on paper to change things. And so really all I did was I fueled better, and that is it. I fueled better. And it got me 10 hours, which is pretty cool. Now I'm sitting here this year like, shit, what am I going to do to like, cause you know, I think it would be really nice to, see how close the women's field can get to 60 hours. If not break that barrier, I don't see why we can't. And so, I'm sitting here going like, okay, like how do I get 4 hours? Like how do I get 4 more hours? Like probably some aid station stuff, but like I think it's just going to boil down to like I'm just going to have to run faster, which is a little scary. Cuz like how do you run faster when like it's so long and hard? But I'll figure it out, or I won't, you know, that's okay.
Man.
I think it'll be the year to find out if that's possible.
Well, and it's a really, really strong women's field. I can't wait to watch it. I think it's really cool.
I can't wait to race it. I think it'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be watching.
It'll be a live streaming.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, enjoy not getting any work done for like Monday through Wednesday. Honestly, Monday through Saturday. I mean, come on. If you're not watching the golden hour, you're living your life wrong.
Yeah, my phone will just be sitting beside my desk at work.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. It's a fun week. It's a fun week.
But it is really, I think that's so cool. Like there's such strong female runners in this year's race. It's so fun. I mean, you, Meg, you got Lauren Jones.
I'm stoked about Meg. I can't wait to watch Meg.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be so fun.
It's pretty awesome. I just can't wait to see how everybody does. I mean, Lauren Jones has had a good showing it, and her longer distances, and then I don't know, is Ashley still doing it? I don't know if she is or not, since she did the treadmill. When we had her on the podcast, I think she wasn't doing it because she wasn't doing Arizona. Okay, I think she might be doing Cocodona.
I don't think she's been on the start list. She did it in 2024 though. Or maybe it was 2025. It might have been last year. I don't remember.
Wait, I think on the podcast she said that she was doing this one and she wasn't doing Arizona.
That's what I thought she said.
Oh, well, that's news to me. So bring them all. I mean, I really
her name is not on the start list.
She's not on
I guess
there?
we'll see.
I really think that one thing that is going to help with that, getting us to the 60 hour or close to the 60 hour mark, is if we have denser competition among women.
Yeah.
Right. Because I mean, I've spent 2 years now racing with dudes, and like, no offense, but it was way cooler racing with women at Chianti, because it's like, okay, like we are making this happen. And like, it just felt really, I don't get an opportunity very often to race with women. I get a lot of opportunities to race with men. And so I don't know, that was really cool. And so I think if it happens, if that sort of situation where there are a lot of people who have the same, I don't want to say the same amount of talent, because that means I'm comparing myself to Courtney, which is not, that's a crazy talk. But I think, you know, we were comparable in our skill sets on that day. And, you know, I think we all probably pushed ourselves a little bit, like maybe 10% faster than, I mean, I certainly was running faster than I thought I was going to be running. And it was just because of the company that I was in.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I mean, if we can do that at Cocodona, I think something pretty magical can happen. So I'm hoping that is how it goes.
Oh, there's definitely it's a strong field.
Strong field. Yeah.
Strong.
Courtney.
Strong field.
Courtney, Meg, Lauren.
That's awesome.
I mean, I don't know.
It's going to be fun. I can't wait to watch it. It's just
me
so
too.
cool.
Yeah, me too. It'll be cool.
So we do have to talk about one of these races already this year, which is pretty cool. I mean, you did great at Whiskey Basin.
Thanks. It was fun. That's a great race. You should definitely do it. It's super fun.
I've heard good things. I would love to. I need to run some West Coast races. Only race I've ran on the West Coast is Zion 100.
Is that that's like the the Mountain West, dude. That's like the
Yeah.
West Coast. What is this? I have so many questions. Zion is beautiful. Zion is really pretty. But definitely, I mean, it's beautiful out here. In wherever west of Kansas, you know. No offense to Kansas, but yeah, I mean, there's a ton. If you ever want to do a race out here and you'd like suggestions, I mean, I'm happy to help because I've done a lot of them and I've been to a lot of places, and it's really it's a cool place to suffer for sure.
Well,
My
daughter graduates this year, so I get to start. I'm going to start running some different races next year. I really wanted to try to do Cocodona this year, but it's almost the same time as her graduation.
Yep.
So I can't miss her senior year. But next year I'll be ready.
Don't do that.
No, she would never forgive me. But I want to talk about the Ultra Trail Chianti Castles. Did I say that right? Chianti?
Chianti. Yeah, it's like the wine.
Chianti.
Like, what's his name? Hannibal Lecter with the Chianti and the fathers.
Yes, okay, Chianti. Man, absolutely phenomenal race.
Thanks. It was cool. It was really fun.
The pictures were cool. Just getting to see you at the end, and you know, I love this, and this is one of the things I've always loved about Meg, and I think you two have very similar qualities here. But you know, you're just kind people, but also you're very humble. You know, and I think that's rare anymore in the sport as people get more and more popular, and you know, with social media and all that, and I think it's really cool to see people that get excited and are humble and thankful for the things that they do, and like you could see just in the pictures, like you were enjoying every minute of that, and it was really cool to see, and we, you know, so happy for you. But that is a cool moment, and I was just curious, like, how did it feel running across that finish line with, you know, like that just had to be so cool.
It was wild. I thought I was in 5th place. So to finish and find out I was in 3rd was like pretty awesome. Cause yeah, I was very, it's funny because I was really content. I had a lot of conversations with myself about expectations going into the race and how am I managing the pressure that I'm feeling externally, and how can I keep that from derailing my race, because I knew that there was a world in which I let the pressure get to me and it caused me to race stupidly. I would start out too fast. I would pull a move too soon, and I would blow up, and I would die by mile 50. And like, that was not the race that I wanted to have. And so, so yeah, I did a lot of that work before, and like the weeks and days before the race. And so I was just, I mean, really by the time I lined up to start, I was just like, all right, let's see what happens. Like, I'm here. The only thing I wanted from Chianti was a finish. I you know, of course I wanted to try to get into UTMB. Duh. I was going to be able to do that probably with like a top 8 finish. And so like, that was my A goal, was like, you know, get into UTMB via Chianti, and like, but I mean, at the end of the day, like, I just want, you know, I've done one race in Europe and it did not go well for me, and I DNF'd at a little over the halfway mark, and it was like, it just sucked. Like that, it just sucked. I let external pressure affect my race in a way that caused me to DNF. So I, you know, running that race and getting to run with Ingvild and Courtney was like just so cool. And, you know, again, I thought, you know, we started in a pot of 5, and then I missed the part apparently where the other 2 women somehow were behind us now. And so, yeah, I thought we were racing 3 through 5 the entire day. And so for me, it was like, well, I know the women I'm around. I know Ingvild and Courtney are strong runners. So like, that must mean that I'm doing okay. And like, even if it means that I wind up in 5th place, like, that the women's field must have crushed it this year. Cause like, I was really happy with like being in 5th place. Like that, I was like, hell yeah. Like I did it. And so, yeah, then crossing the finish line, and like, you know, people along the course are like, oh, you're 2 minutes off the lead. And I just like, did not understand what that meant, clearly. And like, people are telling me that I'm like number 3, and I'm like, my bib is number 7. Like, what do you mean? So yeah, just to cross and finally Madame Paletti, who's I don't know what she is, the UTMB person. But yeah, she like hugs me, and there's cameras everywhere, and I'm like, this is wild because I'm 5th place, but like European racing must be different. And she was like, you're third, like you did third, like podium shot under the thing. And I was like, I'm third, like that's even better. And so it was really cool. Yeah, Cocodona is gonna be, it's just gonna be a peak life experience because of probably like recognizing what it took to get me there. And I think at the time too, I recognized like this is a huge moment for me. Like I will credit Cocodona with like, that is the reason I'm a professional athlete right now, is because of what happened on that day. And I knew that on that day. But Chianti was like, oh, sick, I don't suck at this. Like I'm actually, like I could, it's not every day you get to knock knuckles with the greats,
Yeah.
So that was sick. So that was a top tier finish too. And like Courtney said she was proud of me, and I was like, I'm gonna cry. And like Ingvild is just like, we were all just, it was so much fun to just like, it just happened organically. We just like sat down on the stairs and we're like, oh my God, tell me about your day. And we just like hung out. And it was just really cool. It was a cool day. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
was there a question? I don't know. I just told you.
No. You answered it. My question was how like tell us about it. So I
cool.
could tell from the pictures like how joyful you were with, I can't even speak, and you could just see it in the pictures. Like you were so happy, and it was just cool to see.
It was cool to have. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a special moment. Now, obviously you did Mammoth 200 too. So you like went on this tear of like 200s last year, and you basically won every one of them. That's pretty cool. Peer pressure. So this year will be fun. I'm just so excited to watch you guys, or you ladies, actually. I should say.
Yeah. For the men racing, I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Never heard of them.
I'm excited for the men's race too. I think it'll be. I actually stayed the weekend while I was in Prescott with Mike Versteeg, and we were chatting about the race, and he's talking about the men's field because I don't know jack about the men's field this year. I've got my own problems. And so, yeah, he was. I don't know. And I've actually stayed with String Bean a little bit earlier this year. I actually stayed at his mom's house, which was really fun. And yeah, I don't know, it's such a 200s give you this beautiful canvas with which to paint out the kind of person that you are to a huge audience through this lens of running a race. Because you learn so much about the runners that you're watching. Like you learn about Bronco Billy, you learn about Dan Green, you learn about Brian Sands and Lucy Bartholomew as his crew, and like you learn about her, and like I don't know, it's cool. It's cool to be a part of the multi-day world, because 100 miles are just too short. Like you don't get to learn enough about people in like an 18-hour, 14-hour 100. But now, and you're seeing runners that like they're exhausted, and so when you're exhausted, you're very much not able to hide anything. So yeah, it'll be cool.
Yeah, and the times just keep coming down. It's pretty impressive.
People are faster and faster.
Yes.
So, of all 107 races and 104 trophies, which race are you most proud of?
I knew you were going to ask me that. I think I don't actually even know what race it was, but whatever my second 50K was is probably the one I'm most proud of. Because my first 50K was really hard. I remember, I think I got third or something.
The Charlotte Ultra Run?
Oh, that one was hard, dude. The girl who won was so fast. Because I didn't win that one either. I don't remember what place I got. But
you got podium.
Third.
You were third.
Okay, well, cheers. But yeah, because like, I'd been doing marathons and I was comfortable with marathons, and like I decided to branch out to 50Ks. And the first one was hard. Like it is, it's only 6 more miles, but it's a learning curve. Mm-hmm. And I could have stayed in my comfort zone, and very much did not want to. And so, I signed up for whatever that second one, Charlotte, whatever was. But I don't know, like that's probably, as like weird as it is that I don't even remember what the race was. Like that probably is maybe the moment in my career that I'm like the most proud of, is like deciding in that moment that like because I think it's kind of rippled throughout all the decisions that I've made since, is like, well, I'm not staying where I'm comfortable. I'm going to like lean into whatever this hard thing is that I can try. So yeah, just making the decision to like do it again is one that not everyone makes, because a lot of people do 150K and they're like,
know that.
Yeah.
Yep.
But,
Yep.
And
I'm
I mean that. Yeah,
I'm
the 50K didn't. I mean, it didn't go perfectly. It didn't go. I didn't win or whatever. So I could have just been like, well, I'm doing good at marathons, so I'll just stay in those.
Well, you definitely see that with like 100-milers. People have one really bad one, and they just never do it again. Yep. They just kind of miss that opportunity for their potential of learning and growing, and they don't always go well the first time. So,
nope.
or the second time, or the third time, but
it'll take a few to get better.
As long as you don't die, then you get an opportunity to try it again. Right. So it's up to you. It's up to you if you want to take it, but you are usually provided with the chance.
Yep.
Well, Matt, we'll let you get the listener questions ready while I ask Rachel this specific question that we ask everybody on this podcast, and that is, you obviously have devoted a lot of your time and life to ultra running, and you've experienced a lot of highs and lows, and it's kind of cool to see everything that you've accomplished. But at the end of the day, why do you do it? Why do you run?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I have an answer for this one. And I'm actually going to directly steal the quote from my friend Steven, who is, if I think too much about Steven, I'm going to cry. So I'm not going to talk too much about him. But he has been such a revolutionary part of teaching me to enjoy the process and enjoy the trails and enjoy the sights and not just rush through it. And he has always said that he runs because his life is too easy. And I love that idea. I'm so lucky that I don't have to really struggle for very much. Like, I have a roof and I have a debit card, and like I can buy stuff if I want to. Like, I'm not, I'm really blessed in that way. And so, but inevitably, like, life is going to get hard. And if you do not practice being the type of person that you want to be when life is challenging, then you might not like who you are. And I think running has done that for me in a million different ways. Like, again, I'm very lucky. I don't have a lot of opportunities in my life where it's just like, shit, I'm like, I don't know how to manage this. And I've never practiced coping with difficult situations. But in running, I mean, you get that every time you start, basically. You have to choose to be grateful, and you have to choose to appreciate what's around you, and you have to choose to be nice to people who are only trying to help you. So I run for that reason. I run because in 2024, I was faced with difficulty during Cocodona, and I did not like the person that showed me. I ran it back because I wanted to know that I could change that if I wanted to, and if I worked on it. So I run because my life's too easy. Final answer.
I love it. We actually talked a little bit about this with Sierra on the podcast. So that's a great answer.
It's a great answer. Yeah. Shout out to Steven. He's a cool guy.
Mr. Williams.
All right. We got a couple questions here. The first one was going to start with a statement that says, "Oh my gosh, I can't wait to hear this one." And this one is, as a fellow PT, why do you think we, healthcare workers in general, are drawn to ultras?
That is an interesting question. There's a lot of us out there.
There is.
Steven, the one that I just talked about, is a nurse.
Well, so is Lauren is too, right?
Lauren, Rachel, Drake?
Yeah, there's quite a few.
She's a physician. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of us. I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
It's the adrenaline.
I get adrenaline at work, dude. Like, if you're a doctor, you mean to tell me that job doesn't give you adrenaline?
But yeah, that's what I'm saying though. You need it, right? Like
Yeah.
I wonder if you're addicted to that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think for me, healthcare is and this is why I love healthcare, is because if you're doing healthcare, well, this is a judgmental statement, but I'm gonna say it anyway because I don't feel like we're crazy. But if you're doing healthcare correctly, then it's a very selfless job. Like, you are putting, this other person's well-being before, like, dude, there have been days when I was working where I had to pee like for 10 hours. And like, I don't have time to, because I'm busy making sure that my patients are safe and that they're doing things correctly and like whatever. So it's a very selfless endeavor. And running has always been a little more on the selfish side. Like, I get all this time to myself where I can think about what I want to think about. I can go where I want to go, and like that. I don't know if that's the answer for everybody, but I find that after a really stressful day at work, I need to go run, like, ideally by myself. Yeah.
Yep.
Because I need that time to process. And I do think that running makes me a better person. And I think it does that because it's funny because I feel like nowadays I barely run by myself anymore, which I love. But when I'm surrounded by people all day at work, and, I have 20 patients a day and all of them need me, and it's just like, I need to do this monotonous thing that I feel good at the end of, but that allows me the headspace to like reflect on my day and like what I want, how I can fix the problems that I'm experiencing with my mental health or whatever. So I don't know, maybe I'm spitballing, but that's my answer. It's like, at the end of the day, I just need a second, and like, I like running. So lets me eat more ice cream than if I didn't run. So
That's a great answer. I think we all do it a little bit for our sanity.
Oh, definitely. I mean, like you said, like being surrounded by people all day and then going to run by yourself gives you a lot of time to think and process everything. All right, the next one is we've mentioned this person a few times, but she wants to know all about your cats.
Is it Sierra?
Yep.
It's Sierra, I bet.
Yep.
Sierra's my cat girl. Anyway, my cats are great. I have two cats. Their names are Clickatat, which is the Native American name for Mount Adams, because that's where I got him.
That's cool.
He's a Siamese. Well, I don't know if he is a Siamese cat. I was told by a patient that he was a Burmese cat, but I didn't even know there were types of cats for a long time, so he's a cat. He's brown with blue eyes, and he's very pretty. And then he weighs 17 pounds, so he's a chunky boy.
Oh, wow.
He's not even chunky, he's just huge. But so he's great. And then my other cat is named Bowie. He is orange, and he has exactly one brain cell that is just perfectly smooth with no wrinkles. And he's the best. They're great cats. They're very snuggly. They're very friendly with people. Yeah, I lucked out. They're my first cats ever. I lucked out on the cat market because I got basically cats that act like dogs but are independent. So, yeah, they're the best. So, Clicktat, Bowie, they're my cats.
Pretty awesome.
Clicktat. It's a cool name.
Yeah.
All right. The next one is with ultra running and multi-day events growing in popularity, what do you think are the positive and or the potential concerns associated with the growth? Also, thanks for being such an inspiring athlete in our sport. Rachel is awesome.
Thanks, you're awesome. What are the negatives? I don't want to look at it that way. It's hard for me to ever, I guess the only thing I could really think about being a negative impact is just like the human impact of getting that many people in the same exact trail system. I mean, I've swept races before, and I've been on trails after races have happened, and like, I think race organizers do a great job of like trying to minimize human impact.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. When people are going places that not a lot of people go. I don't know. I'm sure it causes some sort of like environmental impact. And that is something that I worry about. There's so many more people than there ever have been, and the Earth's not getting any bigger. And so, I don't know, but it's hard because like, I've never been somebody like, I live in a place in Colorado where there's a lot of like tourist hate. And it's like, why are you hating on people who just want to be outside? Like, I'm never going to be upset if somebody's on the same trail as me, unless they're littering, in which case I will take that trash and yuck it at your head. But yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I want people to experience the outdoors, and I want them to respect it. And so I think my big fear perhaps is that with the growing popularity, and I don't want to say that it's for the wrong reasons because that's judgmental and whatever, but like for me, being outside in like not often visited places, I respect that, and I try to really keep my impact as minimal as I possibly can. And if that's not something that you have thought about when you're doing a multi-day race, or if you're going out into the backcountry and whatever, then like you could cause harm on the environment that you're in, unintentionally or intentionally. And that would, but even with like 100 milers or 50Ks, like it doesn't matter, like multi-days or not. That would just be my only real concern is that, just like a lot of people in a place that could not have a lot of people in it, all at once, could cause a lot of environmental strain. Sorry to have like a super green answer, but whatever. It's important.
That's good. Like talking about people and the trash and all that. We put on a race in the mountains, and we got an email probably a couple of days after the event and said, "Hey, you guys cleaned up so well, we never even knew you were there."
Yeah,
and that's what you want. Yep.
That is exactly what you want. Yep.
Except for the flags at the start.
Well,
at the school.
That's the flags. We'll get the flags.
The trail was good. The road apparently wasn't.
No, they got
the road's already there. Not that you you should pick up your flags, but yeah, road's already there. The road doesn't have like beavers and stuff that are going to choke on you. So.
That is all the questions I have.
Oh, awesome.
Yep.
Rachel got off pretty easy.
I got it posted just a little late, so.
I saw it was like this afternoon. I was like, oh, I'm in the clear, dog.
Rachel, so do you have any questions for us?
Did you both do Vol State? Is that what I heard? Man, when did you guys do it?
2023.
Okay, so Laz was still very much around.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Laz was there.
Yeah. What a cool person, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Laz is awesome.
What was your... I'll ask each of you, because you both did the race?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what was your, favorite moment from Vol State?
Ooh. Favorite moment was finishing.
I'm asking questions now.
I was ready to finish. No, I think like something that really stood out was just how kind people were. Because even though, you were out there for multiple days and you smelled awful and you looked awful, a lot of people were so kind of, giving you waters or setting up in their own yards. So that was something that really, stood out.
Were you both crewed or screwed?
Screwed.
Hell yeah. All right, good for you guys.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I think day 4 was my favorite thing because it's when I finally figured out that I wasn't sleeping enough.
Oh, nice.
So day 3 was absolutely miserable. I quit the race about 12 times and finally slept for like 8 hours. And, we were probably at like 100 and maybe close to 200 miles at this point. I'm not sure, 175. And just really slow. But I slept for 8 hours and got up and ran almost 80 miles that day and then finished the following day.
Nice.
And even the following day was like, I think the last 30 miles I ran at like a 9 to 10 minute pace. So it was pretty, that was my favorite. The first 3 days were not.
Yeah. It's nice when you learn something that
right. Yeah. And that's what I was saying, like about your Cocodona experience, like shaving 10 hours off. Like I would love to go back to Vol State now. because I feel like I understand what I need to do better. I couldn't tell anybody else what they need to do, but like we all have to figure out what works for us in a multi-day event.
Yeah, exactly.
It's definitely learning.
Do you know Karen Jackson and Bo Millwood?
Yep.
Yeah.
They are my OG homies.
Yep.
So if you see them, tell them I said hi.
I ran through Shelbyville and into War Trace with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good people.
Great people. Yeah,
Yes.
I love them. I've known Bo and Karen probably since 2013.
Well, we
So,
should get them on the podcast. I haven't even.
They've
thought
ran
about
a lot.
that. I should get them on
yeah,
the
I love
podcast.
the Ball State dogs follow story. That's like such a classic.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Well, in Ball State's just like it's such a nostalgic race. Period.
Man,
it's so cool.
I'd love to. I don't know when or how or what, but Laz has a couple races in his kind of repertoire that I think would be really worthwhile to do someday. So we'll see when that happens.
Ball State is one of those where like I feel like everybody should at least try it once because it really puts things in perspective for you.
Yep.
Because it's one of the few races where like you have to take care of yourself. You have to buy your own food. You have to find your where you're going to sleep, all that. Like you have to plan everything because no one's there to help you.
No.
And
I mean, someone can be, but yeah, you're right. It's better if you do it.
Yeah,
Well, they don't have Crude anymore.
Really?
Yeah, he got rid of it.
And
Hell yeah.
and you can't count on the road angels for the most part. Like they're there, but you can't count on that. And that's so the humbling piece is like literally like you wake up on the sidewalk and all you're worried about is where am I going to get my next bottle of water?
Yep.
Where am I going to get my next meal? And the whole reason that I wanted to run this race was one of our friends ran it, but also I ran mid-state one year and I ran with Greg Armstrong, and he was telling me stories about it because he's won it several times. Yeah.
I
And
haven't thought about that in a while.
well, Greg was telling me a story, and he was telling me like he fell asleep on a stop sign, like leaned up against it on the sidewalk, and it was like he was almost to the finish. He just was taking a nap, and I guess he fell asleep. He was just sat down for a minute, and he woke up with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on his side and $10 or $20 in his hand. Someone thought he was homeless, and they left him. And I said, "What'd you do?" He said, "Well, I ate the sandwich and I kept the $20."
Yeah, he's a professional athlete. He just got paid to run.
And I
that's all it
love that
takes.
story. It's so
It's
funny.
so funny. Yeah. No, it's such a great. Yeah. I mean, my life has been so much fuller because of running.
Yep.
And because of
Agreed.
experiences and stories like that. it's such a fun sport. So
Yeah, and
it's like-
you were saying early on in this podcast, like trail running's where it's at. Like not anything is road running, and it's not so much that like it's road running or trail running. It's the ultra community that's so wonderful.
Yeah.
that's probably valid. I
Yeah,
think probably when I say trail, I probably secretly mean ultra.
because you can even go run a road race as long as you're running with ultra runners, and you're going to get treated the same way. And that's just what's so cool about the sport. It doesn't matter what state you run in. If you're running with ultra runners, you're going to feel like family.
Yep.
And that's what's really cool.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, you're gonna have pickleback shots and high fives at some point.
Yep.
Although it's funny because like all my friends that live here, because we all have our backstories, right? And so most people are like former addicts to something, and so it's like everybody's sober. Got it. Yes, you're just having food juice.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant community. I'm definitely with you. I've been really happy with the past. I think I've been running now for longer than I haven't been running.
That's cool.
I made that cross, I think, this year. And so I'm really glad for that. I think I would be a very different person if I hadn't discovered this sport. So, yeah. And ain't nobody got time for that person. I like this person much better.
Yeah. It's it's obviously working out for you. So we can't wait to see what you do in the future, especially at Cocodona. And hopefully we can have you back on later this year, early next year, and get some updates. But
yeah, just ask me.
Rachel, thank you so much for taking the time to be on this podcast. And it's truly been a joy getting to listen to you and talk to you and learn more about you. So thank you for sharing your story.
My pleasure. Yeah, no worries.
And good luck at Cocodona.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks. I will take all the luck I can get. I've got my hands full. Thank you.
Just don't wear the Old Navy shorts.
Well, that's never happening again. No offense to Old Navy, but no. Yeah. Thank you.
Well,
I will take that advice to the grave.
You didn't need that advice. You've got this. But it's going to be exciting. So I can't wait to watch you ladies race.
Right.
Ladies race is what I'm most excited about.
I think so too, because like just for the people that we've had on the podcast, we got to know so many of them, and now they're all going to be racing together.
Yeah,
it's going to be awesome.
It's fun.
Just cheer for everybody.
Yeah,
it'll be cool no matter what happens.
Well, Rachel, thank you so much for taking your time to be on here.
Yeah, thank you guys.